فيا أيها القاري به متمسكا مجلا له في كل حال مبجلا. بسم الله، الحمد لله، الصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Welcome to Tajweed podcast. This is another presentation for makhraj al-lisan, the articulation points of the tongue. My name is Khalid Abu Shafa, and I will begin in this video presentation the makhraj of the dal and ta. The articulation of the letter dal and the letter ta, they mainly come from the same makhraj, which is using the tip of the tongue. And as we can see here in this slide, that the tip of the tongue touches behind the incisors, the gums, and produces that sound. But there is a difference between the ta and the dal. Of course, when we pronounce the dal and the ta, as they come from the same makhraj, the difference is the quality, which is called the sifa or the sifat, the qualities that will differentiate and will make the ta different than dal. What we see in this slide is that the makhraj of the dal uses the same point of articulation as the ta. But the only difference, as you can see, the air comes flowing, comes to the point of articulation and stops where the point of articulation of the letter dal, as we can see here, but there is no air coming after that, which means it stops and make that sound very, very strong. So the sound stops within its makhraj, within its point of articulation, by saying ad, ad, ad. So as you can see, there is no air coming at all. So the air comes from the throat and comes from the side of the cavity of the mouth, the oral cavity, and then stops there where is the makhraj. The articulation of the ta is the same as the dal. We see that the air flows, also comes from that from the back and from the cavity, goes through, hits the where we have said the makhraj of the dal is the same, but the only thing that the air flows, goes out, not like the dal. It goes out of the mouth. And we can see that by, if we pronounce the dal, it stops completely. Ad, ad. And look at the ta. At, at. And if you put your hands just close to your mouth by sounding ad, ad, there is no air coming. But if you say the ta, of course this is in Arabic language, you would say at. You feel that the air is coming, and that is the quality of the hems, which is in Arabic language is a quality which we're gonna have a look, of course, in details after the makharij video presentations. So it's called the quality of hems, which means in Arabic language linguistically means whispering, but it means this, the ta, the letter of the ta is in the same way is strong, but needed more air, more flowing to be pronounced powerfully. So it's say at, at. So whatever the letters that require more strength and more air to come, such as ah, af, as, you can see that the air is coming out. But when we compare it into other letters, that huruf al-shidda, that the letters of they are powerful and strong, the sound remain within the point of articulation, such as ad, at, aq, So as you can see, the sound stops there. And this is the letter in this slide, letter ta. The ta is slightly, they use the same makhraj, of course, dal and ta. But the only thing that the ta and the dal, they call them the letters of infitah. Infitah in Arabic means opening, but we're going to see also more in details. These are the sifat and the qualities soon as we finish physically talking about the makharij and about the points of articulations. The infitah means the opening. The tongue does not use all the sides and the middle part of the tongue. That if it uses, it's called al-itbaq. Al-itbaq is to bring two layers together and you make that itbaq. أطبق الشيء على الشيء means to bring a layer upon a layer, but this one is to bring the sides of the tongue, or the middle part of the tongue goes to the roof of the mouth, as well as the tip, which is called the ras. It goes to the roof of the mouth, and where exactly the makhraj of the dal and the ta, the same thing, but using that middle part goes up slightly. That is called al-itbaq, and this is differentiate between the dal and the ta. So you would say at, at. And by the way, the ta is one of the strongest letters of Arabic language. One of the strongest letters of all the makharij and all the letters of Arabic language, and the weakest would be the ha. So the strongest is the ta in pronunciation because it has all the strength, the power, the way it sounds, the way it uses the tongue. So among the letters of itbaq, of course, there are sad and dha and dad in the same manner the ta, but the ta is the most powerful. It has qalqala, it has other qualities which we're going to see later on. So have a look, the use of the tip as well as the middle part goes to the roof of the mouth, and say at, at. The sound stops there, but there is no air coming out. But the difference between the ta is the tip of the tongue. It doesn't use all the sides of the tongue or the middle part of the tongue, but it goes with the ta, the flowing of the air. But the dal, it doesn't use as well, but there's no air. So ad, at, at. And by the way, the ta does not use at all the part which is the lips. So lips are really not for use of the letter ta. Okay, so ta, it's not, you don't have to move your lips. So some may sound by saying twa, and it becomes like wow. So by using your lips to pronounce the ta, you damaging the makhraj of that, the sounding of that makhraj of the ta. The ta uses the tongue. So most of the Arabic language letters and the makharij and articulation use the inside the mouth rather than to be outside the mouth. Outside the mouth, we talk about the lips. There are only 4 letters: the fa and the ba and the mim and the waw. So let's see the next common mistakes that appear in reciting or reading some of the words in the Qur'an, especially when using the letters ta, ta, and dal. So these are a few examples. Of course, we can't go through the whole Qur'an, but with if you listen to read with me, we will go, inshallah, bit by bit, highlighting some of these mistakes and some of these common mistakes that the shuyukh and the qurra and also came across myself also among the students who pronounce some of the words not in a correct manner. And this is, of course, it requires practices, it requires polishing, it requires to listen to the Quran, to read to someone in the same manner. It takes time. So by practicing again and again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will open, inshallah, the door, and we will help us to come to recite his book as he wanted us to recite it. So this word, inshallah, muddakir. So when we look at this letter dal, because of the letters are mainly similar to ta, some may pronounce it as muttakir. instead of muddakir. So I ask some people to pronounce, for example, ad-din. You find that some air is coming, very hard to control. And this is in other languages because they are not used to say dal as a dry letter without any air coming. They do not differentiate between dal and ta. So they would say muttakir, which makes a difference in meaning as well. They say maliki yawmittin. Tin means figs, the fruit, figs. And when you say maliki yawmiddin, ad-din has a different meaning. Maliki yawmiddin, ad-din, ad-din, rather than to say ad-tin, so you let the air come out, becomes like dal. Another example is tattali'u. So some may make or may pronounce the ta as ta, because the ta comes straight away after the ta. So allati tattali'u. Some would say allati tattali'u, tattali'u. So make the ta as a ta. So we should observe this and be careful not to make that sounding similar to ta or similar to dal. So muddakir, ad-din, tattali'u ala al-af'idah. Now this is a letter which is mufakham. This is a letter muraqqaq, full mouth and empty mouth. So sometimes we would pronounce the dal as mufakham, full mouth, following the sad. الذي يوسوس في صدور do, not الذي يوسوس في صدور do. It's not do, it's do. Da, do, di, صدور الناس. The other example is أفتطمعون. Of course, there is a ta here, and the ta and the ta from the same makhraj. But this one is a full mouth using the itbaq, using the sides and the middle part of the tongue. Say, afata, afatatma'un, afatatma'un. And the ta close to the dal also, the same makhraj, so we have to be careful not to say fadadalla or fatatalla, ta or da, fatadalla. And da by itself is strong as well as a ta. Fatadalla. This is another example also of making the ta sounding as seen. And this is very, very common with everyone. Muddat instead of muddat. Look, the ta has a sound of stopping. You stops the sound first, it has a shidda, then the air flows after it. Muddat. To bring that, we have to press hardly on the gums, on the tip of the tongue behind the incisors. Press hardly and then release, let the air coming. Muddat, khuliqat, inshaqqat. Fatadalla, also I mentioned the example fatadalla before. Laqad ra'a. As you can see here, the qaf is mufakham. Okay, the ra is mufakham, which is full mouth. So if we want to say the dal like the qaf and the ra, then it goes out of its makhraj. لقد رأى, لقد, لقد رأى. لقى is full mouth, so it goes up, and then the ra goes high, full mouth, but the dal does not. Also, don't forget the qalqala. لقد رأى, لقد رأى. Here, the same thing, the dal not to be mufakham as well. Some say وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ أَدْ وَمَا أَدْرَ وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ. So there is also qalqala on the dal, and also if I join وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ. So if I stop, I say القدر. If I join لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ قَدْرِ قد not قَضْ قَدْرِ. جزاكم الله خيرا for listening. Please send us your emails and your comments. Hope to see you inshallah in the next video, in the next presentation. Make the dua. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make it easy for all of us inshallah to practice upon what we say. جزاكم الله خيرا والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
هنيئا مريئا والداك عليهما ملابس أنوار من التاج والحلى.